welcome back to Shemsuniverse. So today, guys, we're going to discuss Mercury in each of the Zodiac signs. So we haven't gone over this one, guys, so make sure I give you guys a thorough analysis of how this stuff plays out within each Zodiac sign. So when we discuss Mercury placement, Mercury discusses how you communicate with the world and how you kind of perceive it. So it's how your brain operates and then deals with what our physical reality here is. Like when we see this fence behind me, the trees, the sky. This is really concerning our observation skills and how we think. It's our thought process. So I'm going to get right into it. So Mercury in Aries is what we're going to start off with. When you have Mercury in a position with Aries, these people are very, very blunt in life. They come to very fast and quick decisions. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily spontaneous or that they're impulsive, but what it does mean is that they know how to look at a matter and just say, what's the most way I can just take an action right away, and then they just do it. They just take the action and they don't care really much for the consequences. If they meet a wrong turn, they'll deal with the wrong turn. If they meet the right turn, then even better. But these people are all about action, 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 and they don't really have much time for thinking. So if you have Mercury here, it's very good. You're very good with any sort of high-risk job, sports, things like that, where you need to have really good stress management. You guys could get stressed if things don't go too well for you over and over, but that is a very cardinal position to have Mercury in, so it does make you guys very good innovators, very good pioneering spirits in the sense that you can bring forth new ideas and have the courage to actually express them in our physical world. Moving on, next we have Taurus. When we have Mercury in Taurus, what this means is that this is kind of the polar opposite of Aries. They're very slow and contemplative. The difference here is that a lot of people will get frustrated with the likes of Mercury and Taurus people because it seems that when you discuss something with them, they're the type to say, hey, do you want to start a business? They'll be like, yeah, I'll let you know. What's the business pertain? They'll ask you the questions and then they'll take weeks to come to a conclusion, whereas the Aries person would have said yes from the first day if they liked it. The Taurus now is going to go and research, make sure that their benefits are in mind, make sure that you're going to be benefited, make sure that the idea is grounded in its sound. This is a fixed sign. So they're looking at it from the perspective of, well, how's this actually going to play out? How's it going to work? And they want to make sure they get all the mechanics. They want to make sure that it's going to be something that's going to be consistent and continuous. So when they're learning, when their thought process is in order, they're more so thinking along the lines of, I need to make sure that what I'm doing is competent and it makes sense. And sometimes that may be slow, but they are very, very success oriented. And whatever ideas that they do actually choose to execute, for the most part, they will get it done. It's very rare that they fail in their quest. Next one would be our Gemini. Mercury and Gemini is what I have. These people are quite quick-witted, they're jovial, quite optimistic about life, which can lead to a lot of downs. This is one of the best places to have Mercury. It does give Mercury that extra energy to really implement ideas and get them done with what some people will consider impossible. Mercury and Gemini people can kind of do with ease or with some sort of miraculous sudden turn of events. We're very quick-minded, very much able to adapt to different situations, and very, like with the Taurus, money-oriented. But the difference with Gemini is that they're very fast money-oriented. They want to figure out, how can I make the most in a very short period of time? That's a good trait to have. However, a lot of things that are worthwhile, we can learn a lot from Taurus. It does take time. It does take investment. It does take that whatever you're doing to compound. If you're working out for a month, cool, you worked out for a month, but how about work out for 3? How about work out for a year? And that's the thing where we'll go wrong, is that we'll say, well, like, the results aren't fast enough. Maybe I need to get some supplements, I need to get something else. And that's when our progress slows, because we keep switching ideas. The main concept here is to stay with an idea and see it through and use your fast mind and concentrate on a singular objective. Once you're able to do that, you'll actually master the world. Another thing is that Geminis also look at things from a very logical perspective and not emotional. So sometimes we disregard our intuition, disregard our emotions, and that can lead to a downfall as well. So be very wary of that. Next I want to go over is Cancer. When we have Mercury in Cancer, these people view life from a very emotional standpoint, in the sense that they kind of view things, and a lot of people like Mercury and Gemini people will be annoyed by this, because they'll talk about stories and situations in their life in a sense of, well, this happened and it was sad, or this was really good, this was really happy. And it doesn't really objectively mean something good or happy happened. What it means is that it made them emotionally feel good. Their intuition, when you have Mercury and Mercury and Cancer, means that you guys are very, very emotionally receptive, and you guys are very much able to kind of see life for what it is from an emotional standpoint. So a lot of people will look at that as sort of superficial because emotions change. However, you guys are able to see the background noise behind why people took certain actions. So you're able to be, you guys are very good for like things like therapy, investigators, detectives, forensics, things like that you guys would specialize in, just because you're able to find out the why behind our thoughts. And that's a very, very important concept. Moving on, next we have Mercury and Leo. And this is a very, very, very bold position to have Mercury in. The Lion, of course, is the king of the Zodiac. The Leos run things when it comes to being very authoritative, very domineering. When a Leo comes to a decision, it's like a mix between the Aries and the Taurus. A Leo is a fixed fire sign. Fire is very passionate, very strong. But then you have that fixed energy that's similar to like the earth, very grounded. So a Leo, a person with Mercury and Leo, their thought process is going to be along the lines of, I'm going to come up with an idea, and they're not going to take long to think about it. They're going to say, what's the best idea I can do here? They're going to do it, but they're going to stick with it. So Geminis can learn from this one as well. Leos will stick with their prerogative, they'll stick with the idea, stick with their purpose, and get it done. Only thing that Leos, I would say Mercury and Leo people should be wary of, is looking down on other people and sort of not really respecting other people's opinion. At times, people with Mercury and Leo might look at other people and just say, disregard their opinion, or just tell them flat out, especially the males, just say, shut up, like I don't want to hear what you have to say, and they'll just go along with their mind state. For the most part, people with Mercury and Leo are very, very successful. But just watch out for being a little bit too narcissistic in thoughts and making sure that you're open to other people, because this can close certain doors for you when it comes to networking and connections. Next one I want to cover is Virgo. Mercury and Virgo is all about detail, detail, detail. Meaning Mercury and Virgo is like a human computer. It means Mercury is already exalted in Virgo as is. So what we have here is somebody who's going to be very good with things like mechanics, engineering, being like a pilot, anything to do with dealing with like putting things together, assembling things, renovations, construction, architects. These guys are specialists. They're very, very able to delve into subjects and then see how it works. The Mercury in Gemini is more about like writing, literacy, speaking, what I'm doing. But Mercury in Virgo, Mercury gives them the strengths with their hands. They're very much able to take things apart and really, really delve to the deep into how things are made. And their minds work in a very similar way to Gemini, but slightly different in the sense that they're more hands-on in comparison to the Mercury in Gemini. Moving on to the next one, we have Mercury in Libra. Mercury in Libra is great because Mercury in Libra believes in balance. You guys kind of perceive the world in the sense of everybody has an opinion and we all need to cooperate and hear each other's opinion out. Your weakness in that sense is that you don't actually pedestalize your own opinion enough, and you guys will share your opinions and your purpose, your goals, your thoughts, all of these things with other people, and then make what they say have bearing and have weight onto what you're going to do in the future. And that could be a very big weakness, just simply because you're not taking into account that, yeah, you have a great idea and it's good to share with other people, but if they don't specialize in that subject matter, their opinion really is irrelevant to you, and it shouldn't mean anything to you either. So even if that's a parent or a colleague, their opinion, it means nothing. And a Leo would have no problem with this, they just wouldn't care. But somebody that has Mercury in Libra will definitely care. They have a fast mind as well, very smart, still an air sign, but they value other people's opinion way too much, and that can weigh them down in the future, so be very wary of that. Aside from that, you guys are great for things like being lawyers, mediators, arbitrators, people that come to agreements between foreign governments. All of those things work very well for you guys because you guys are able to really see group collectives and see how they work and put that puzzle together in a very special way that other people cannot do. Moving on, we have I would say the villain of our zodiac signs now, which is Scorpio, the 8th sign. Mercury in Scorpio is quite deadly. These people are taskmasters, they're chess masters, and they're really much able to, they work like a video surveillance. They can zoom in situations, like zoom way in and then come way out like a hawk in the sky and it's looking down at its prey. And they're able to really just look at things from a perspective of, how does this work? How does this person operate? How can I get what I want from them? They're master manipulators. Mercury in Scorpio means that their mind works very well. It's a grounded sign, so they trust in their own opinion, but they're also able to adapt to other people's point of view and at least get what they want from whatever that perspective may be. So these people are really good at, when it comes to things like being business CEOs, politicians, their stress tolerance is like through the sky, not through the roof, through the sky. They don't get stressed. Mercury and Scorpio, I Googled some of it just because I was quite astonished by the statistics. They say literally over 40% of sociopaths and psychopaths are people with Mercury and Scorpio, just because their mind is on that vibration that they don't really feel much anxiety, stress, and the only thing that they don't also feel is empathy a lot of the time. So if this is you and you're not like that, don't worry, this is just statistics online. But that's what it kind of points to, as being very, very competent when it comes to high stress situations, which could be very, very high paying for you guys. So use those sort of evil talents to your advantage. If I had that there, that's what I would do. Next one I have here is Mercury and Sagittarius. These people are very good voyagers. They're conquerors of life. It's a mutable fire sign. So these people kind of view life as a sort of journey that they have to go through. They like learning new things, learning new languages. These are the type of people that will meet new people all the time and be able to get along with them and be very social. So a lot of social media stars come out of this sign. A lot of people that are able to, I would say, kind of just pave the way in a certain sense when it comes to meeting other people, creating businesses, creating different connections. So things like contract laws inside of their realm, things like mediating, arbitrating, all of those things are going to come under there, but you can pretty much do anything. Like I said before, a lot of social media stars, bloggers, vloggers, all of those things will fall under this as well, just simply because they're able to really see through the puzzle of social dynamics and adapt to each kind of individual in a very special way. So that makes them just specialists when it comes to being socialists. And that can also lead to, I would say, being a good politician as well, because you guys are able to see what your audience would want and then meet that. Sales and marketing, advertising, all of those things are in those realms as well. Sagittarius is a very versatile sign. So when it accompanies Mercury, which is the most versatile planet, you get a very ambidextrous sort of person that can kind of do everything and juggle it all. Next one I want to cover now is the Mercury and Capricorn. It's kind of the opposite. Mercury and Capricorn, we have the fastest moving planet. Mercury, small, fast moving planet, circle around the sun about 53 times a year. Then you got Saturn, that does it out almost 27 years, it can circle the sun. It really is slow. And we have now these two coming together. So these type of people are able to see things very quickly, but they're still slow when it comes to coming to decisions and making choices in their life. They're able to compartmentalize opinions and belief systems and really look at it from an emotional way and then also a logical way. And they're very much able to separate the two and come to steadfast decisions. This is kind of like the Mercury and Taurus on steroids. They're really able to come to robust decisions, build huge companies. People that have this, I'd recommend, they're most likely going to be people that will invent huge companies, be hedge fund managers, stockbrokers, people that can get into different things like accounting and just see the fine-tuned details of how companies work and reestablish and reform them to be something better. Moving on, next we have Mercury in Aquarius. This is the type of people that don't want to fit in. They're very bold in that sort of way. They're private, but they're bold. In the sense, if they want to voice their opinion on something, they want to be the black sheep, they'll be it. If they don't want to say anything to you because they don't feel like you match their IQ, they just won't say a word to you. When you have Mercury in Aquarius, this just simply means that you're able to really see through different people. You're very selective with your friends, very selective what you choose to learn, and your mind works in a very gifted way. Most people with Mercury in Aquarius end up being quite gifted, and they, for the most part, the only career I could really see them doing is innovating of something or just being simply an entrepreneur. Last but not least, we have Mercury in Pisces. Mercury in Pisces points to somebody who's both very logical through Mercury, and then through the Piscean nature, they're also kind of psychic and clairvoyant. So you have somebody that could be a very good spiritual guide, some sort of yoga instructor, martial arts, things that revolve the mind and body conjunction works very well for the Mercury within Pisces. These people are very spiritual in nature. You guys are able to really see through the reality that we call life, see through this fabric of life and just flip it upside down. You guys are very, very powerful when it comes to manifestation of what your heart wants. So just be very particular and objective with what you want in life, and you for sure will get it. You guys have a very individualistic sort of view on life because your Mercury makes your mind work fast. However, the Piscean nature inside of that will make you guys sort of not take advantage of those gifts and use it for the betterment of humankind as a whole. So the choice is yours what you do with it, but just understand your manifestation abilities are on supercharge. But if you're thinking negatively, then that will be on supercharge as well. So try to keep very positive, keep yourself very hydrated, don't neglect your hygiene, your diet. All those things matter a lot because you guys are so spiritual. You guys will a lot of the times neglect the body. So make sure your mind and body is always at one and in a very healthy place, and the rest of your life will play out just fine. But that's all 12, guys. If you guys do have any questions regarding Mercury and any of those signs, just please let me know in the comments. If you guys have any recommendations for me whatsoever, just let me know. I'm going to start including timestamps on these videos, help you guys out so you can find your individual signs. But please watch the whole video regardless, guys. All of it is very educational. You can learn from each of these signs different things about yourself regardless. So please just watch the whole video, but I will start including timestamps. I've noticed that in the comments quite a bit. I'm going to include that in. If you guys have any other recommendations, please let me know. Aside from that, like, subscribe. All of me. That's it for today, guys. Peace.